WordPress Basics Module 7, Managing Users. Okay, we are at a lesson that should help you manage your blog a little bit. You know, keeping up with the blog, if you haven't started one or worked on one yet, it can be hard work. So you kind of do need a clear plan of action for your blog. If you don't, you could lose steam really fast. You know, you probably often go to websites where people haven't blogged in weeks or even months, sometimes a whole year. Well, you know, that doesn't mean you can't keep up with a blog or have one if you know you can't commit to it. As a matter of fact, on my website, I'm going to go to it real quick, bring it up, writtenvoicesblog.com. On this website, I have columns, I have features where people can come in and guest blog. On this column right here, I have the growing writer column. I have a woman, Becky DeWitt, who has been writing for me for years. She writes an inspiration column. And so you don't have to put the burden of a blog on yourself. You can actually go out and encourage people to contribute to your blog. So going back over to the dashboard area, the way you would do that is to use or add users to your website. And it's real easy to do. So what we're going to do is we are currently on the user tab, and you can click add new on the left or add new at the top. And you notice that the admin person, which is myself, and yours will probably have admin or whatever username that was used to set up your website when it was installed. You're already on there as an administrator. So you're the one who can go in and add anyone that you want to add. So let's say I'm going to go for purposes that I used in an earlier module. We had someone who was an assistant who we wanted to come help us with the blog, or maybe as a columnist. She has a column that she's presented to us that relates to some of the things that we do in our business that she can post maybe twice a month. So we want to give her the opportunity to go in without us having to do it, or she can log in herself and add that blog post. So let's just say we're going to give her Jane Doe as a username. And let's say it's Jane Doe at email.com. And I actually typed this in a while ago, so you can see it's coming up for me. Let's see, http://www.janedoe.com. Real easy. And now this is the tricky part. You want to try to give a strong password. Usually that's a combination of capital letters, lowercase, numbers, and symbols. So let me see if I can come up with something that is strong that WordPress will like. And it's important to type it the same way, or you'll get that mismatch. So it looks like I'm good. Now, if you're adding the person, it's probably a good idea to send this password to the new user by email. I'm not going to do that in this case because I don't know whose email address this is. This is for the lesson. But this is the cool part. The part underneath here, when I click, it allows you to apply roles to the users. So mostly all the users, the most basic level you can give them is subscriber. In some cases, if you fix your settings right, sometimes with the people who used to be in WordPress, the people who added a comment to your blog, they were automatically added as subscribers. But that's kind of gone away a little bit. You don't have to do that. It's just a matter of a person can leave you a comment and you can approve it, but they don't necessarily become a subscriber to your blog. But that's a setting that you can add if you wanted to. And just to go down the list, of course, you're not going to give anyone the administrator role unless it's a partner in the business, or maybe a virtual assistant that you really trust to have that access. If you do give someone the administrator role, keep in mind that they have access to your plugins, the appearance of the theme, tools, settings. Those are sensitive areas that, once you have them in place, you really have to be careful with who has access to those areas. So you may want to think carefully about that. But there's some other options under here. For instance, if you give someone the editor role, they can create, manage, and publish posts and pages. So that may be something you would want an editor that you hire or an assistant to do for you, depending on how large your blog grows. And let's see, they have an author. An author can create what is that? Okay, we'll get rid of that. Don't know what that is. But an author can create, manage, and publish posts and pages too. So actually, an author can create and manage just blog posts. So the difference between an author and an editor is an editor has access to the posts and pages, but the author only has access to the blog post. Let's see another one. And for most people, I think the people who add columns to my Written Voices blog are authors. So that gives them the ability to automatically post a blog post. I don't really have to approve it. Now, if I wanted to approve it, then I would give them the contributor role. That way they would post a blog post and I would actually have to look at it and approve it before it goes live. And this event contributor is something I think that is handled by one of these plugins that I added. So that's not something that you will normally see there. I think that has to do with the calendar plugin that I added. So it's real easy. I'm just going to go ahead and click add new user. And as you can see, so now we have 2 users. I actually ended up giving her the subscriber role. Let me go back and edit that. After you get a person in there, if you want to bump them up to say, and here's how it looks. It looks a little different after you get them in there. Actually, they give you more information to add. Like if you want to change their password or give them a bio, you can do that here. But say I wanted to actually make her a contributor. You can also give her access to whether she sees the admin bar. If she wants to see blue or gray, I'm gonna change this to blue, just to show you that she can see this area over here in a different color scheme. And then I'm going to click update user. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, I think, is I'm going to log out of this. And then I'm going to log back in as Jane Doe. So let's see. Hopefully I can remember the password. Okay. Now, do you see how different this screen looks? Remember, I chose to give her the blue theme. And I also, if you notice on the side, hopefully you can see, just in case, I'm going to kind of make it smaller. But on the side, you can probably see that the tabs are different. She only has access to posts, and she can see the posts that are already there. She can approve comments, and she can go to her profile. So you can see when you give someone a user in a particular role that they have limited access to what they can see in the dashboard area. So that's something that's really cool about WordPress if you want to add more users to kind of help you build up your blog.